Film auteurs are the very individuals that guide a movie on where it is supposed to go. Without them, films would almost cease to exist without a captain driving the ship. An auteur is not only the director of certain films, but they are also the ones considered the most major creative force in producing a motion picture. Director Jane Campion has seen her works within film earn her the well-established title of an auteur. Campion's stylistic signatures employed throughout her career are the very details that earned her unique title of an auteur. As a result, Campion has seen herself the recipient of various film awards, highlighting the very talent that she is. Through Campion's devoted study to painting and anthropology, her creativity and visual style within her filmmaking was born. Campion has been considered one of the most influential female filmmakers to emerge from Australasia. New Zealand-born, Campion withholds the very definition of the auteur theory. The auteur theory follows a film and its reflection of a specific director and their creative ideas. To have films that have recognisable stylistic traits of a director is what the auteur theory is all about. In a way, the auteur theory gives directors a particular artistic identity throughout their film career, highlighting their consistent themes and stylistic work. To call someone an auteur is proclaiming them essentially as the author of a film, as auteur is actually the French word for author. Through Campion's lens, the world becomes both familiar and strange at the same time. Campion consistently creates diverse environments where concrete realities are flipped to create conflict. As a result of the incorporation of visual elements and use of colour, Campion leaves all imagination up to the viewers. A classic hallmark of Campion's style is to leave her films open to interpretation, not telling the audience they should think or feel a certain way. All is left unsaid. Throughout her films, Campion constantly creates surreal films where a strong female character is heavily present. This consistent use of a dominating female lead is one of the stylistic signatures of Campion's work. Like many of her other films, Campion consistently provides a story where the world is seen and experienced by a woman. Consistently providing films where the story is developed in a similar way indicates stylistic patterns of Campion's work and hence demonstrates the true meaning of the auteur theory. Campion heavily focuses on the lives of damaged women and the ideal structures of society where some refuse to conform. Yvonne Tasker once said, "Campion's films are undoubtedly informed by feminism, dealing with questions of female desire and creativity in complex fashion. Her work emphasizes an almost perverse figuration of female strength." Not only is this consistent employment of a confused female lead a stylistic pattern of Campion's, it is also so important to highlight in today's society. For years and years, gender inequality has been indicated not only on screen but in day-to-day life. Campion's input of a strong female lead is somewhat saying, "I am a woman and I can do anything." Campion's films, considered feminist, exploring the true desires of women and their creative sexuality. This stylistic trait of Campion's delves into what other directors are afraid to shine the light on. All Campion's female characters share the same willingness to rebel against social norms and explore their true selves. In her film Bright Star, female lead Fanny Braun develops a love for poet John Keats, triggering the urge to explore another person. This indicated forbidden love leads Campion's way to develop all the more reason Braun must give in to her desires and stay true to herself by pursuing Keats. In each of Campion's films, there reaches a point where female characters are exposed in some way, succumbing to moments of pure pleasure. Campion's films indicate that women have certain urges and can feel particular emotions as well as men. Highlighting this, Campion also indicates how normal it is for a woman to discover and live out their fantasies. Her films do not trigger erotic senses, however, explore the female soul and celebrate truly what it means to be a woman. A further consistent stylistic trait of Campion's is the somewhat cliché way she presents Australia to the world of cinema. Much like other Australian films, Campion heavily involves cliched elements of Australianness to highlight particular themes of her films. Being born in New Zealand, Campion is still able to achieve a well-articulated setting and not too cliché of what Australia is expected to look like. In her film, The Water Diary, Campion not only highlights the characteristics of Australian lifestyle, but brings attention to a very serious issue in country Australia, drought. The film follows the story once again of a young girl and her family living in an outback community heavily struck by drought. This spotlight on the effects of global warming only highlights Campion's unique way of storytelling once again. Campion's use of camera shots and audio indicate the landscape of Australia. Shots of dry paddocks and the crunch sound made as the young girls play in the dry grass further emphasises this Australianist stylistic pattern. Dried up dams and dusty driveways also highlight the typical lifestyle of country Australia. Despite being from a different country, Campion is able to recognise the qualities and traits that combine to create the country that is Australia. In doing so, throughout various Australian set films, Campion is able to capsulate to viewers the typical lifestyle for certain Australians and the struggles they potentially face. Campion's consistent ability to surprise and engage viewers as a result of her stylistic signatures over her various years of work does not go unnoticed. Embedding traits like involving a female lead to promote female empowerment and involving the typical elements that make up Australia allows audiences to feel united in a way. Her consistency and stylistic patterns that occur throughout her films has well and truly earned her the title as an auteur. Campion's different way of storytelling and her consistent theme of breaking social boundaries and stigma is what makes her films so great and inspiring to the many fans she has attracted over the years.